All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing good today. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for another episode of Speedruns from the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix. I'm your host, Dices, and we do have some fun games for you in store tonight, and some spooky games. I have a pretty fun theme, I guess, in store for you. Before I do get into that, I just have a couple announcements to make. One, GDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from January 5th to 12th. You can visit gamesmanquick.com and check GDQ 2025 important dates for more information. As well, if you want to support GDQ Hotfix, I believe we have shirts now. You can check out the 2024 Season 4 t-shirts at theyeti.com/AGDQ. Alrighty, so today I thought we would dive into a fun video game mechanic that's present in a lot of horror games, but I guess you don't see it all the time, but it's pretty notable. And that is the idea of sanity. Today's, theme for the episodes is every speedrun is going to have sanity mechanics. Now, will we see this in the run? Games get kind of broken, so maybe not. But at the very least, casually, these games had sanity mechanics. In order, we're going to be having Haunting Ground, Amnesia, and Visage. So it could be a lot of fun, although I do know some of these games do get quite busted. Anyway, we're going to start with Haunting Ground Ending C with MissScarletTanager. Take it away.
Heck, I'm gonna need you to knock on wood because you know Haunting Ground. We might see some panic today. Hello everyone, my name is MissScarletTanager. I am known as the mother of bunnies. You can see them in the background there. White one is Tally, gray one is Garrus. They are my couch essentially. We are going to be playing Haunting Ground, which yes, is definitely one of the horror games of all time. It's one of my personal favorites, and I actually know that Dices also runs this game. But we're gonna get started, and we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, peek. All right, Haunting Ground. It's the unofficial Clock Tower 4, and we did just have Clock Tower Rewind get released, which I haven't played yet, but I'm excited because I got my physical copy just yesterday, actually. So we are playing as Fiona Belly. She was just in the car chilling with her parents when shenanigans occurred, and she wakes up in a spooky haunted mansion. Classic horror games. And she just needs to go find some clothes because at the moment she just has a sheet, which is rather cold because it's an old castle and it's rather drafty. So Dices, are you feeling frog today? Are you feeling froggy?
A little bit.
You feeling a little froggy? Okay. I am also feeling a little froggy. So we're playing technically the New Game Plus category because it helps with a lot of the eccentricities of the game. Oh, which one's the frog one? I can't remember. It's the last one, I think. I can read Japanese, I just can't read. There we go. So we're gonna be a frog because we have access to those costumes, and you know what? Why not? Sometimes you just feel a little froggy. The frog costume isn't really going to be, that helpful during the speed run, and it wastes time to get it. But I mean, why not, frog? So we're going to be seeing the first and only stalker we're going to be seeing during this run because this is ending C, where we use some of the New Game Plus stuff to end the game early, one of those classic endings. This is Debilitas, aka Debbie. I love Debbie's, probably my second favorite of the stalkers, just because he's adorable. 3, 4, and what you do there is you do 4 what we call backstep tackles in order to get Debilitas. Just go away for a little bit because you can't really do a lot of the puzzle stuff while you're being actively chased by a stalker. And here we're going to do a little bit of typing to get all of the plate keys or the key items that we're going to need for the run, at least in terms of the plate key part. So the first one is called Meth. Then we have Rest. And finally, Adamus. Oh. I do not know how you type this so quickly, Dice. I've never been able to do it very well.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, fair. I have a tendency to be a little bit twitchy with it. So now that we've got those 3, if this was the ending A run, we'd be doing a lot more of the typewriter. But we only need 3 of them for ending C. Kick this door open. Kicking doors is slightly faster than opening them the normal way, but you have to be careful where you do it because you can only do it from doors that open outward. And if you do it too much and in certain areas, you can summon the stalker. We don't want to do that. But we're going to take this long ladder here. Now, the whole ending C thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get a very specific key that you can only get after the first boss fight, or the first stalker fight against Abilitas. So that's pretty much all of the game that you're going to see. But it does have probably one of the more entertaining endings, in my opinion. Alright, so we're going to go in here and get ourselves a key that half of the time I forget to pick up because for some reason Fiona doesn't pick it up during the actual cutscene. You have to pick it up from the table afterwards. Do not forget the thing. Pick up the thing. Thank you, Frog Fiona. Okay. I cannot even count the number of times that I've forgotten to pick up that specific key for some reason. We're going to use the key, not the plate key, that key. On this door to open it. And this is our little introduction to luminescence, or loomies, as I like to call them. They're not really that much of a wisdom tooth in the game. They're not that much of a trial in the game. Unless you just get really unlucky and they happen to catch you right in the doorway of an area. Because if they hit you and they make a loud noise and they draw the stalker towards you, you don't want that. But thankfully, they're slow and they're relatively easy to dodge. Okay, so we got the map there. The map's not going to be useful, but we need it in order to trigger a cutscene coming up here, which we're immediately going to skip, if the game lets me. Okay, and then here's where we found out that Fiona's parents and her were in a car accident. Oh no. And she passes out. She does that she passes out 3 times over the course of the game, just from the stress of the game. But that's the only one that you're going to see during this speed run. Now we heard some whimpering, and oh look, it's a doggo. We get doggo friend. This is Huey. Huey is the best boy. Now we don't technically get him yet, but we'll get him in about 10 seconds. Once we get back up to the room that we just came from, which is where we will actually acquire the doggo. Huey has a reputation in the Haunting Ground speedrunning community. He doesn't like to listen. So we've sort of routed out specific places in the run to use specific commands with Huey to try and like game his AI to get him to listen better. Because the game has a mechanic where you sort of train the dog as you go along. So you sort of train the dog's AI, the better trained Huey is, the better he listens to you. The problem is, this is a speed run, and we want to go fast, so we don't really care about properly training Huey. So we just gotta sort of hope he works correctly. See, like right there, he decided not to follow me. In order to get him to do what we want. But thankfully this is ending C, so he's not going to be as much of a jerk. Okay, come on, Huster. So earlier you saw me pick up a little bit of a lavender. We're going to be using that right about here. And that's because of the stamina mechanic in this game. Huey, come on. So Fiona runs slower if she's run for so long, because you know, if you run forever, you're gonna have a hard time. But that's Fiona, get the door. Thank you. But that's not gonna be as much of an issue coming up here because we're gonna get an item that's gonna mitigate some of that. I'm gonna tell Huey no, and hopefully he'll obey. No, he won't, because he's being rude.
Come on.
Huey! I hate this hallway so much. There we go. Okay. When Huey barks, that's when you know that he's actually paying attention to the command that you just gave him. So since Huey barked, we know he's going to follow us, and we don't have to worry about it. Now we need to bring Huey all the way through this long way instead of taking the slightly shorter path, because Huey can only get down.
Go, Huey.
Huey,
Go, Huey.
I know you love me,
Go, Huey.
but that doesn't mean
Go, Huey.
that you should search for items for me right now, honey.
Go, Huey.
Huey.
Go, Huey. Huey.
Huey's just being really rude to me today. It's okay. He's still a good boy. Sometimes. All right, Egdiasis, what do you want to bet I get caught by Debilitas coming up here?
No, I think you get it.
You think they'll get it?
Yeah.
Coming up here is going to be a dodge on Debilitas. I'm going to do a slightly safer strategy, but it can be very, very RNG whether or not you actually can get past Debilitas here without him seeing you. Now I'm going to definitely make sure not to forget to turn this off because we're going to be coming back through this room another 2 times, and this turns off an instant kill directly to my right. All right, so I'm going to focus a little bit here to try and get past Debilitas without getting seen. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Don't turn around. Oh, you saw me. Okay, so we're gonna lose about a minute of time loss here because of Debilitas seeing me. So you were wrong, Ek. I got seen. What you're trying to do there is you're trying to get past Debilitas without him knowing Fiona's location there. Sadly, he turned around before I was able to get through the door. I find the spot where I was at a little bit more consistent usually than the slightly faster method of going directly next to the door. But sadly, you know, things that almost never happen decide to happen when I'm trying to do it for a marathon run. So we're just going to do the hide mechanic, which you normally don't see during the speed run. But because Debbie decided to say hello, we're going to have to sit here in this closet while we wait in order to get past him. And this is the reason why I had a 30-minute estimate. All right, now it looks like Debbie's gone. He's not. It's a lie. The game said no enemy. The game's lying to you. It does this a lot. So anytime Debilitas, as you say, it says no enemy, it's still lying to you. Because you can hear the music. As long as you can hear the chase music, you're still being actively chased by the stalker. Do I risk it? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So as soon as the background music of the game comes back, you know that the stalker has either despawned or is far enough away from you that they don't matter anymore. All right, so we're just gonna slip on through here. And we're gonna use that Animus Plate key. So the Animus Plate key is going to get us an item that's gonna make our stamina management just non-existent in the game, which is really, really nice. We're not really going to have to care about it anymore. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're immediately, as soon as I go through this next room, going to get chased by Debilitas again because Fiona's gonna fall off a cliff-ish railing thing. And we're gonna have to run around and hopefully not get caught by Debbie. But the big RNG part, sort of RNG part, is whether or not Huey decides to be in the room we need him to be in. Coming up here. Hi, Debbie. All right, for some reason, Debilitas hates this specific room, so he will not go into this room until we kick the puzzle at the lever at the top of this room. As soon as we do that, Debbie can now come in here. It's one of those video game mechanic-y things where games says that there is a puzzle or something in the room, therefore enemy cannot go into the room. It's a fairly common thing that happens in a lot of stalker games, having an area where the stalker cannot go. 1, 2, 3. Another example I can think of is Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 Remake. There's specific rooms he cannot go into, like the save rooms. All right, so we're being chased by Debbie again. He's gonna jump over that wall up there, but we're not gonna see that because we're going fast. Yes, hello, Debbie. Please leave me alone. I don't want your hug. So in the lore of the game, Debilitas thinks that Fiona is his dolly. He wants to give her a big hug, problem is Debilitas is extremely strong, and if you let him give you a big hug, he will break Fiona's spine. We do not want that, so we do not want to get any Debilitas hugs today. All right, I got good RNG on the door being open. Great. So 2 things are gonna have to happen here. There he goes. Okay, cool. We want to make sure that Debilitas is still following us. We want to make sure that he knows that we're here, and we want to make sure that Huey's in the room. So Huey's in the room, and the reason that I can tell is because every time you call for Huey, Fiona's head will turn towards him if he is in the room. So as long as he stays in the, don't go through that door. Okay. So as long as you have Huey with you in the same room and you trigger that little cutscene there, then Huey will push Debilitas off of a railing, and now he's down there. We are not safe from him yet. We still need to run away. Thankfully, all we have to do is put distance between us, and he will somewhat despawn.
Come on.
Okay. Huey, are you gonna obey me? There we go. Good boy. Can't give him any good boys, though. No good boys for the Huey. Because giving Huey good boys is slow. All right. Come on, Huey. Huey? Don't you even. So Huey will sometimes get his attention taken away by different things in the background of the game. He got distracted by the little hole in the wall there, which he will be going in a moment here.
Huey.
But first, we need him to go into this hole.
Go, Huey. Go.
Come on, Huey. Huey?
Go, Huey.
Okay, he's going. Because we need to get him to get this flower for us.
Go, Huey. Go,
Huey?
Huey. Go, Huey.
Okay, Huey. He's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here, Mom. Aren't I a pretty puppy? Yes, you are a pretty puppy, Huey, but I need this flower. All right, we're gonna tell him to come out of here by going towards the hole, and this is where the ending C part happens. So the first thing with ending C is we need to open this crate, because we're gonna be coming back through there later, and it's easiest to open it now. Hey, Huey. Come on, doggo. All right, now I'm not going to do what I did during... Huey, come on. Huey? There we go. Huey?
Come on.
What I did during my... I think it was my Frost Fatales run of this game,
Go.
where I got chased by Debilitas here because I got a little full of myself and kicked too many doors. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, even though this door's open. So we're going to open these doors the slow way, which is to open them normally. Sigh. We're going to use the flowers on the vase to get these moths to go away from another door. We could kick this door as well, just slightly faster, but we're being safe, so we're just going to open it normally. Yes, I have lost runs here to getting caught by Debilitas. The stalkers run both on a timer and can get summoned by specific events in the game. This is one of the sections where it is possible when you're doing a run that the timer part can get run out. And the timer and the quote-unquote timer before summoning the stalker is dependent on the time that has passed, as well as how many loud things Fiona has done, like kicking doors or getting hit by luminescence, etc. Alrighty. So now we got the desk key. Yep, there's the Loomies. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Cool. Come on, Huey. So at this point, Huey has lost his... Yep, there's another one. Huey has sort of lost his usefulness. There is nothing that we're going to need Huey for the rest of Ending C.
Come on.
But let's keep him with us all the same, because, you know, he's a good boy. Alright, so we're going to be taking the shortcut. Go all the way back towards the beginning of the game. Every time Huey growls during this part, it always freaks me out, because Huey can growl at two things. He growls at entities, but those entities can be things like luminescence, later on homunculi, or it can be because he knows that Debbie's on his way. And that's also true if you hear Huey whimpering like he was a moment ago, which happens if you are not in the same room as him, and he is in a room with a, there we go. And he is in a room with a enemy. And use that key that we found in order to get a lunar mirror. So we're going to need that to open up the pathway to Debilitas' boss fight. Oh. Debbie, why? That was literally the worst possible place for Debbie to spawn. He can spawn in quite a few positions there. Oh, it looks like he's deciding to be nice. Cool. Or not. He might knock me off the ladder. No, he's not. Okay. So the most dangerous place that Debbie can appear is where he appeared, because he's directly in your way, and there is a chance that he can knock you off that ladder that I was going down. Technically, knocking you off the ladder is time save. It's something like 10 seconds of time save, but there's literally no way to plan for it. I preferred when he spawns down the hall instead. That is the door, Fiona. We're still technically being chased, but it doesn't matter. We're so far ahead of Debilitas. We're going to be able to get to our destination. And once we get to our destination, Debbie can't do anything. So it's pretty great. When I was doing practice for this, I ended up panicking on this. Fiona ended up panicking on this little stretch here because of almost that exact same thing happening. Him getting to me at the ladder. What happens when Fiona panics? Hopefully you're not going to see it during the boss fight with Debilitas, if I get lucky enough. But Fiona doesn't really have a health bar in the way that you would think of as a standard video game health bar. She has an invisible panic meter. Now, the more spooky things Fiona sees, or the more times Fiona gets hit by stalkers, she'll start panicking. The screen will start to go sort of wibbly wobbly, not quite photo negative-ish, but the screen will start to go wonky. Now, if that happens too much, Fiona will go into panic mode. The problem with panic mode is if you are in panic mode and you get hit enough times while in panic mode, she'll go into like a super panic mode, and once you're in that panic mode, you're one hit from death. We don't want that to happen. But there is a real chance that it might during the Debilitas boss fight, because Debilitas' boss fight is rather RNG. Now what we're doing here is just a big old long block pushing puzzle. Standard video game horror stuff. Thankfully I've played this game enough times that I know this puzzle. I have not messed it up in a speedrun yet. Being the operative word. Just pushing some blocks. So yeah, funnily enough, we're not like too close to the end. We still have probably about another 5 minutes-ish, 5-6 minutes. But as soon as we do the boss fight, which is directly below this area, we will be just running to victory. It'll just be running around to get a couple things in the mansion when there is no stalkers to chase you, because the stalkers will have been deactivated at that point. Because for the period of time after you defeat one stalker and before you activate the next stalker, you're just completely safe to run around. Which is pretty nice when you're trying to, you know, find glitches or find other ways to get through the game. Of which we've only found one, really. But you won't be seeing that glitch because it's something that happens at the end of the game. In A ending, not C. The puzzle is done. Now we can go down here. There we go. All right, so we're going to use that lunar mirror that I got on here. And we're going to turn it just like I turned that other one earlier. Twice. And we're going to turn this other one over here once. In the other direction. There we go. In order to open the door to the little cathedral where the boss fight takes place. Yes, I know Huey isn't with us, but the boss fight spawns him for some reason. Video game logic. Anytime Huey is needed for a cutscene and you don't have him actively with you, the game just spawns him. Alright, I'll take this room in a very specific way. Because there's in fact pits to death in those shadows. What the game wants you to do is to send Huey out in order to show you where the path is to get through there, but that is slow, so we just do it ourselves. We're gonna pick up the goddess key here, which is what you would need if you were doing A ending, but we're not doing A ending, so it's just for progression. There's the doggo. And boss fight. I'm immediately gonna tell Huey to stay. And I'm just going to come over here, start kicking this, and hope. Oh, good. Okay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to bait Debilitas? Wow. Okay. Cool. That's probably one of the faster Debilitoses I've had. He was actually being really nice today. So what we did there is there's two ways that you can get through the Debilitas boss fight. One is to just kill him, quote-unquote, normally, by kicking him a bunch, making Huey attack him, etc. Come on, Huey. But the faster way to do it is to break those two chandelier hooks and get the chandelier to fall on him. And it's fastest to get just Debilitas to do it to himself, because it takes way too many hits for Fiona to kick it down herself. Alright, come on, Huey.
Huey.
Now that we've done that, at this point, like I said, stalkers are deactivated. We don't have to worry about being chased anymore. It's kind of great. But if I was doing A ending, I would have gone up those stairs instead of out this doorway in order to trigger the next stalker.
Huey.
But instead, we're gonna go say hi to Debilitas, because he's not dead. A chandelier fell on him. He is technically behind us, or at least he's supposed to be. But even though he is behind us in that other room, he is already just teleported to his little shack over here. We're just gonna go say hi to Debbie in his shack. Hi, Debbie. So Debbie likes us now. Debbie doesn't think that we're his dolly. So Debbie gives us a key because Debbie wants us to get out of here and go home and wait for this all to blow over. So at this point, now we get to take usage of that great gate. That gate that I opened up earlier, because this is the shortest way to get to where we need to go to get another key. So Debilitas just gave us a key so we can go get another key so we can actually end the game. And this is where we get to make use of the final plate key, the rest plate key. That's not a plate key, that's the plate key. This opens up the restroom. Oh, that's the pause button. Lo and behold, the rest key opens up the rest room. Could have kicked that, oh well. Then we're going to use the key that we just got, the smudged key, to open up this specific bathroom stall. That's not the smudged key, that is. Alrighty. And in here, for some reason, in this hidden area in the back of the women's restroom, or at least the restroom in general, is the key to the gate. So you can only get in here after you've beaten the game once. This is New Game Plus only. You cannot do this if you haven't beaten the game. It doesn't give you the option. So now, since we have that gate key, we can literally just go to the gate of the mansion and leave. This is one of the games that actually lets you do the meme of, why don't the horror protagonists just leave? This game actually lets you do it. And it doesn't end horribly like it would in, say, the original Clock Tower game, where if you tried to do that, you just get game ended. No, the game just lets you walk out. Oh. And time will be when I use the key on the gate. As soon as I get all up here. And time.
GG.
GG. So yeah, you get to see Fiona trying to use the key on the lock with her giant Froggo hands. She gets some encouragement. I should have made a stuffed toy Huey. Oh well. So yes, there are also costumes for Huey that can turn him into things like a stuffed a stuffed toy dog to go with the frog. But if you ever get this game yourself, which you can, it is still available digitally on the PS3 on the Japanese store specifically. Don't try to get this game, the English version, unless you have a lot of money to spare. It is very expensive for a physical copy of the English version of Clock Tower. Or I said Clock Tower, Haunting Ground. The unofficial Clock Tower game. Okay, so Fiona's just going to escape here. I'm just going to skip that for time. This is Lorenzo. He would be the final boss of the actual game. But alas, we left early, so he just gets to be sad that we left and he didn't get to say hello to us. So goodbye, Lorenzo. And that is Haunting Ground. AKA Demento. In Japan, it's called Demento, but in English, it's Haunting Ground. All right. So yeah, I guess that's it. It's our ending. Ending C. The time is bad. It has a bad in-game timer, so we don't use it for speedruns. But my name is MissScarletTanager. You guys can find me over at twitch.tv/MissScarletTanager. That's MISS, Miss. I'm not streaming that much at the moment because I'm working on editing my fantasy novel, hoping to maybe get that published or at least start getting it published next year, fingers crossed. But when I do stream, I stream over on there. I streamed yesterday, first time in a hot minute, but yeah. The bunnies have their own dedicated webcam, so come check them out.
All right. Well, thank you for the run. Once again, if you did enjoy the run, you can check out MissScarletTanager with the link in chat. As well, we do have a couple of more runs for you. We'll be getting those in a moment, but first, for a few announcements. Join us in celebrating Black Joy with Back to Black from February 6th to the 9th, 2025. I can find out more information at gamesdonquick.com/blackinaflash. As well, we have GDQ's next all-women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, which will be live from March 9th to the 16th. You can find more information on that at gamesdonquick.com/framefatale.